Sophie Cunningham, an NBA great, just rejoined the Indiana Fever. However, take a look at what she actually signed before you celebrate. Just 1 year, not 2, not 3, just 1. That 1-year contract reveals all about Sophie's true feelings on Herb Simon's Indiana Fever, especially when you consider what she has been developing off the court. Now, let's get started. The Fever confirmed Sophie Cunningham's resignation on Saturday, April 12th, just hours after the free agency window had opened. Amber Cox, general manager, lauded Sophie's contagious energy and referred to her as one of the league's top three-point shooters. Sophie uttered her famous phrase, "Let's get spicy." It sounds fantastic, doesn't it? This is what they're not telling you. Sophie Cunningham, who had one of the best shooting seasons in the WNBA, was only persuaded to accept a 1-year contract because she had quietly established one of the most stunning off-court empires in women's basketball. Furthermore, she is not going to be held captive by Herb Simon's franchise. First, let's discuss the broadcasting agreement. Sophie stated 5 days before to her resignation that she would be working as a studio contributor for the 2026 WNBA season for USA Sports, the versatile USA Sports broadcasting deal network that split out from NBC Universal. Furthermore, this is a substantial operation. This year, USA Sports will broadcast at least 50 WNBA games, including doubleheaders on Wednesday night. The entire season, as well as the playoffs and championship game. This is the largest media agreement in the league's history. Hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of 11 years. Sophie Cunningham simply entered the room. Alongside Elle Duncan, who left ESPN to host this coverage, she will make appearances on studio shows and special segments. Hall of Famer Thomas Catchings and Renee Montgomery, both while they were still active. The same model Candace Parker used at Turner Sports before becoming a full-time broadcaster, the same model Draymond Green uses with TNT, and the same model Caitlin Clark employs with NBC. Sophie is developing her career rather than only working as a freelancer. Post-playing career in front of our eyes on national television in real time. The podcast comes next. Co-hosted with West Wilson from Bravo Summerhouse, Show Me Something has around 50,000 YouTube subscribers via Colin Cowherd's Volume Network. Twice a week, they release episodes that combine pop culture, dating tales, WNBA insider knowledge, and uncensored perspectives that continue to go viral. Sophie made waves when she supported Caitlin Clark on television. She pursued Skip Biss and garnered additional media attention. The WNBA even punished her for insulting the show's referees. It's not background noise. It's a media brand that is really hot. Here's a tidbit that most folks overlooked. Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy attempted to sign the podcast prior to its release. Portnoy overcame worries about exclusivity. Barstool was at the table since Sophie's media presence was already so valuable. Additionally, Sports Illustrated revealed Sophie as one of 3 athletes making their bikini debuts in 2026, just in case you thought she was slowing down. The 2026 issue of Sports Illustrated swimsuit. This isn't a dabbler. This is a large-scale brand operation. Modeling, podcasting, broadcasting, healing from a torn MCL, and negotiating her WNBA future. This is where the Herb Simon issue arises. Sophie Cunningham was paid $100,000 by the Fever during the previous season. Take a moment to consider that. $100,000 in a league where the typical NFL practice squad member earns 3 times that amount without ever playing. $100,000 for a Commissioner Cup winner who went on to become one of the team's most cherished players. Music, Herb Simon's $100,000 problem and the 2026 WNBA CBA is arguably second only to Caitlin Clark, a woman who, in addition to her basketball deal, was creating a media empire. Herb Simon's franchise valued her at that much. The WNBA's 2026 collective bargaining agreement is expected to alter the situation. Sophie only signed for a year, but the WNBPA secured improved income sharing and higher compensation. She has a lot of possibilities. She doesn't want to be confined to a franchise with an ambiguous ownership structure. Because, let's face it, Herb Simon is 90 years old. For years, his succession plan has been unclear. There were more questions than answers when Stephen Rails subtly surfaced as a possible successor. Sophie won't repeat the mistake of playing for a team that didn't make an investment in winning. She is aware of how that appears. Sophie was drafted in 2019 and played with the Phoenix Mercury for 6 seasons. She wasn't the Phoenix Mercury years of Sophie. In the desert, a role player. She earned her minutes, battled her way into the starting lineup, and contributed to Phoenix's 2021 WNBA championship. Diana Taurasi, Brittany Gurrier, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Sophie all performed well on that Mercury squad. Before the 2025 season, she was traded to Indiana in exchange for giving that team 6 years of her career. When ownership doesn't commit, that is the reality of women's basketball. After that, she moved to Indiana and became the team's lifeblood right away. She fired 43% from long range on real volume in 30 games, which was 3rd best in the whole league. In the Commissioner Cup championship game, she scored 13 points and grabbed 7 rebounds. This was the first trophy this team has won in more than 10 years, including the Commissioner's Cup and MCL tier. Gainbridge Fieldhouse lost its mind. Since Tama Catchings was running the floor, the Fever faithful had never experienced anything like that. When fans discussed toughness, culture, and what this squad should feel like, they pointed to Sophie. She then ruined her MCL season in Connecticut on August 17th. 7 months of rehabilitation followed, during which she watched her comrades battle without her, knowing that she ought to have been there. In that position, most players slow down. They wait their turn, remain silent, and concentrate on becoming better. Not Sophie. She started the USA Sports deal. During all of that, she continued the podcast. Sports Illustrated signed her. She never stopped building, not even for a day. The Fever finished 24 and 23rd in the East, despite Sophie's absence and Caitlin Clark's personal injuries. The ownership crisis of Herb Simon. They defeated the Las Vegas Aces in 5 games after upsetting Atlanta in the opening round. However, everyone in Indiana is aware of the reality. With a healthy Sophie Cunningham on the court, this team's ceiling is higher. She returned, but on her own terms. The 1-year agreement is leverage. If the Fever go on a true championship run in 2026, if Caitlin Clark, Stephanie White's coaching, and Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Monique Billings, and Aaliyah Boston Core all contribute to a finals appearance, Sophie might then decide to stay or prolong. However, Sophie Cunningham enters the 2027 offseason as an unrestricted free agent with a broadcasting career, a media empire, and enough clout to write her off if it collapses, if injuries mount, if Simon's ownership group is unable to hold the core together, or worse, if the expansion draft destroys this roster the way it destroyed other teams. Whether she's behind the desk or on the court, Tamika Catchings has her own blueprint. The player in question was not locked down. That guy locked the team into demonstrating itself. To be honest, Tama Catchings, rather than the playing style or the legacy play, is the most astute parallel in this case. Throughout her career, Catching was based in Indiana. In 2001, she was selected with the 2nd overall pick. She took home 4 gold medals at the Olympics. In 2012, she took home the WNBA title. She also didn't vanish after she retired. She was appointed vice president of basketball operations for the team. She now works for the same Versant network that Sophie recently joined, which broadcasts sports in the United States. The transition from athlete to media personality to franchise representative. That's where it is. Every stage of it is visible to Sophie. What makes this a countdown clock for Indiana? Catching has a lifelong commitment to Indiana. Sophie Cunningham recently made a 12-month commitment. The discrepancy between devotion and leverage reveals all about the current state of Herb Simon's Fever. A franchise that is unable to attract its own stars to wager on the future. Sophie has returned. Indeed, it will be spicy. However, a 1-year agreement is not the same as a vote of confidence. There is no commitment in that deal. It's a clock that counts down. Sophie Cunningham will be all right when it reaches 0. The true query is whether Indiana Fever is capable of saying